All right, guys. Hey, this is Scott Webb here, and I just wanted to put out what is going to be a new feature. We're going to be doing a um, play basically based off of my line versus where the lines have gone, and going to call it the value play of the day. And today's game is going to be the Philadelphia Phillies at the Baltimore Orioles. My line in this game was Philadelphia minus 120, and right now it is Baltimore minus 108. So the line difference is 18, and that's going to be in favor of Philadelphia. So that would be a play on Philadelphia in this particular case. So looking at the game, you've got Pivetta against Cashner, and the xFIP numbers for Pivetta is 4.28, and the Sierra number is 4.04, which are basically right at the average number. xFIP maybe just a little high. The xFIP number is 411, but it's right about at the average. And he's facing Cashner today, and his numbers are 4.78 and 4.83. So there's a little bit of value in that. Pivetta is predicted and projected to have a little better start today than what Cashner does. What I also like is that the run prevention area of looking at the games, which are going to be the strikeouts, the walks, the ground ball rate, and the whip numbers, they all favor Pivetta in this spot. He's got 23.2% strikeouts. The average is 22.1, so he's above average there. Cashner's 18.8, so he's below average. That tends to mean that he's going to need to rely on balls in play to make outs. When you look at the walk rate, Pivetta's at 8.1. The average is 7.3, so he's a little bit above. But Cashner's at 10.2. So in comparison between the two, you're looking at a big advantage to the Phillies in just getting on base. And ground ball rate for Pivetta, it's 43.1. Average is 45. So it's close to the average number, but Cashner's 38. So that means balls are going to be up in the air, and when balls get up in the air, that tends to mean that we get scoring and you get a lot of home runs, not necessarily home runs, but doubles, big extra base hits. Then the last one we look at here is the whip rate. The whip rate for whip is walks and hits divided by innings pitched, and he's at 1.48. The average for the whip is 1.26. So he's just a little bit above average, but Cashner's at 1.76, so he's way above. The other metrics to look at kind of indicate what kind of pitching stuff they have, and one of them is the O swing rate. The O swing rate is how many balls hitters swing at that are outside the strike zone. So it's late movement on pitches. It's balls that trick the hitter. And in this case, it's 30%, 30.8 for Pivetta. The average is 30.6, so he's right there. And Cashner's 28, so he's below average there with his metrics. So it kind of gives you an indication that the stuff is not the same. And the swing strike percent, that's just balls that they swing and miss at. It's 8.9% for Pivetta, which is kind of low. The average is 10.1. But Cashner's 6.4. So Cashner's not up there fooling anybody. His stuff isn't, quality like maybe it was 4 or 5 years ago. And Pivetta's coming into his own. So we like that about this particular play. And then when you start to look at the bullpens, they're sort of even, but there's one big edge here for Philadelphia, and that big edge is the left on base rate. So, that's what a bullpen's supposed to do. So they come in, they leave the guys on base. And in this particular case, it's 81.1% of the time. The average is 74, and Baltimore is at 66.8. So I like the idea that we have a better pitching matchup for Philadelphia in this game, both with the starter and really with the bullpen as well. The only concern is on the offense side. Baltimore's starting to hit, and Philadelphia is not that they're not hitting; they're just not hitting like Baltimore does. So there's a small edge to Baltimore on the offensive side. So with those things being said, I think this is a reasonable opportunity to take Philadelphia here. It looks like it is a minus 102, which means they're a small dog, if you want to call it that. And then we'll see what happens. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Good luck.